What's going on, fellow A-plusers? It is I, your Morphinominal host, Adam Perez, back once again with another Zenkaiger review, as we're about to go ahead and get into episode number 43 as we inch ever so closely to the series finale here. I believe that there's 45 episodes this season, but honestly, with episode 44 to 45 right around the corner, I'm kind of thinking to myself, I have no idea how they plan on wrapping up this particular series. I know, if anything, Don Brothers doesn't begin until March. So I am wondering if there are at least 4 or 5 more brand new episodes, or do we officially wrap up with 45? Like, I'm wondering if there's any other hiatuses, like weeks off or anything like that in between Zenkaiger storytelling to finish off or wrap up this season. If you guys know any differently, please go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below, exactly how many episodes we definitely have here. The momentum is definitely building up, I will say, certainly towards the finale, especially with the idea here of Gege sort of taking over Stacey's body and really seeing exactly how that worked out in this particular episode. So in that regards, at least, I really had a fun time with that episode. And honestly, when it comes to just the villain of the week in the Headwind world, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what the name of it was also, I got a few chuckles in regards to the idea of them, like, how do you overcome a headwind in the sense, right? And I don't know if it's a brilliant or idiotic idea to just go with the flow, if you will, right? Like, any direction that you're facing, the headwind certainly hits you. So why not let the wind carry you and you do everything certainly backwards? So like when they start running and dashing into the battle and talking with their backs towards the camera and stuff because they're running backwards, I actually thought it was pretty funny. Even seeing them like get their Geertelingers out and start doing their henshin sequence and stuff, all that stuff with this huge gust of wind continuing to blow in their face pretty much all episode. Doesn't matter what direction you went in. So for me, it was actually pretty funny to kind of see some of the actors, the suit actors, portraying that headwind, even seeing like Majin get thrown across the room out of the candy shop sort of thing, newspapers just flying into people's faces and like muffling what they're trying to say sort of thing. So again, it's the idea of Zenkaiger. And this has been really a whole season theme in regards to almost each episode having its own unique theme based off of the world that we're exploring. And having some fun with it. And I definitely think that they certainly dove head first into it. I mean, even the henshin sequence, when the team is together and they do their famous pose, and we usually get the gigantic symbol right behind them, the fact that it's everybody's back towards the camera, even the symbol like flying all over the place because of the winds. So again, I did at least appreciate the idea of them fully diving into the theme here this week, because it definitely did make for some great humor, honestly. But for me, this really all comes down to the Stacey storyline, and there is an aspect of Kaito in here that I appreciated, in the sense that he knows Stacey well enough to know that the Stacey that we wind up having in this episode is not the Stacey that he's quite familiar with, right? Just a brand new attitude, a brand new lease on life, it feels like, grinning from ear to ear. We don't really see Stacey smiling that much, right? Even to the point to where, like, Flint even says, and it's a tad bit creepy, and it honestly was. So just the portrayal of Stacey by the actor in here, I thought did a great job in regards to just showing his range and just showing us a different side of Stacey, this time being sort of mind controlled by Gege. And so for me, I appreciated Kaito realizing the difference and even calling him out at the end of this episode. Even getting the opportunity to see that, yes, while he is certainly helping us out, it's all about that personality and how he certainly comes across, how he talks to people, right? How he references people. Kaito, thinking of what Stacey's relationship is like with Barashitara. While Stacey probably has done some things in the past to definitely help out the team and maybe certainly turning a new leaf, the way that he's being presented in here, Kaito definitely picks up on it. Like, the way Stacey would talk to his dad or anything like that, you're definitely not Stacey with the same sort of personality or mindset. So we definitely know that something is up. And real quick honorable mention in regards to the shot selection in here, especially the night scene at the end of this episode where we get to see Stacey leaving the Zenkaigers, and he just kind of jumps off the building, but you got the gigantic, I don't know if that's like a blood moon or just a full moon in the background sort of thing. And so I thought it was a beautiful shot to kind of see Stacey just leaping off the building and leaving the premises that way. So really cool shot in regards to that. But for me, the idea of Gege, it at least becomes a little bit clearer that it's not just necessarily Gege mind controlling somebody and his mechanical body being out of commission. It feels very much like he's certainly more than capable of doing two things at once. Like he almost split off his personality and his mind into Stacey while he's certainly still chilling on Overlord Bokawasa's shoulder, still being conniving and manipulating as ever, while he's also still pulling the strings of Stacey. I mean, that's a pretty powerful power to definitely have, there's a part of me that almost wants to ask the question, like, does he have Overlord Bokawas also sort of mind controlled and sort of pulling the strings? Is that why he can kind of get away with everything and not necessarily get in trouble from Bokawas, right, and pin it on everybody else? I don't know, that might be a little bit of a reach, but just seeing how powerful Gege is for a big-ass bird that you just kind of assume going into the season as a sidekick, and now that we've gotten deeper into the show, you're seeing that he's really pulling the strings, got his own plans, clearly plans on trying to take down the Tojitendo, and maybe at the end of the day, him be the one kind of sitting on the throne. I mean, we know that he's supposed to be popping up also in the Don Brothers series, maybe having a little bit of a role there as well. So it feels like whatever plan he's decided to finally pull the trigger on, maybe it's definitely leading into the finale and into Don Brothers for us to definitely find out. But it was pretty cool to kind of see what Gigi's capable of doing with his power set in here. Adding on to Overlord Bokawasa's idea of being pissed off at the rest of his cronies. Poor Ijiru, Barashitara sort of getting the brunt of the idea that Stacey has in fact left. Gege, instead of just letting it go and letting them get in trouble for letting Stacey escape, it's Gege that winds up even bringing up the idea that I think somebody helped him. Like, I think somebody helped him, knowing damn well it was certainly him, but putting the blame on everybody else. And for me, I also really appreciated the idea of getting to see Barashitara maybe catching on a little bit. Not necessarily in the sense of he knows that he's controlling Stacey, but that Gigi's at least up to something, that he's really sort of poking Bokawas into doing a lot of this stuff, and maybe he's picking up on the idea of like, why is Gege doing the things that he's doing? Because I'm pretty sure Barashitara is probably very much aware he clearly didn't break Stacey out, and I'm pretty sure he probably knows Ijiru didn't break Stacey out, and there's not really many other culprits on this Tojitendo Palace that certainly has that ability to definitely do so. So maybe Barashitara is catching on, but to what level, who certainly knows. But I am eager to see how this wraps itself up, guys. I truly am. Fun episode, really cool to kind of see a different side of Stacey. Honestly, if you ask me, I feel like this side of Stacey is probably the most formidable that we've definitely have seen. I mean, the fact that he kind of even goes toe-to-toe with Barashitara in here. I used to make fun of Stacey all the time very early on in the season. Like, he can't fight his own battles, right? Anytime that he's out in the fight, Zenkaiser's beating that ass, two Kaisers beating that ass. He's got to use all these gears in order just to kind of help level the playing field, right? Like, it just wasn't that talented of a fighter. Like, he just never really impressed me in that regards. But I felt like the idea of seeing him face off against his dad and Barashitara in here, pretty impressive, even to the point of his father wind up sort of trying to give him kudos for turning his back on Bokawas. And even though Stacey has in fact made that decision to go ahead and turn on Tojitendo, again, Barashitara has no idea that it's his son being manipulated now when it comes down to this particular point in time. So I find that really interesting intriguing. I thought that was pretty cool to see Stacey actually go toe-to-toe with his father in here. And also even the idea of seeing the Zenkaigers kind of be totally on board with the idea of Stacey being a part of the group, right? You know, them trying, it was funny trying to see them play it all out in their head, like, well, he has kind of saved us on several occasions, right? I think it's maybe Room that also recognizes, yeah, but he doesn't really act this way, sort of thing, or can we kind of trust some sort of mentality? I found it interesting when he wanted to go back to the candy shop to actually approach Yi-chan and talk with her and things like that. I felt like, man, this guy's getting really personal now, right? Like really trying to pull the strings and push his luck, if you will, knowing that you know how they certainly feel about him visiting with Yi-chan these days. The idea of just popping up, helping, and thinking that, hey, I'm going to join your team and everything's going to be fine, sort of thing, definitely sent up some red flags for Kaito and certainly the rest of the gang. In fact, I almost wonder if it's Kaito that wind up calling Zox and Flint to go to the candy shop to check in on Yi-chan and Si-chan also, to kind of see what Stacey was definitely up to. Like even the idea of seeing two Kaiser confront him was pretty intense. You know, like, hey man, if you know, we should probably leave and talk someplace else, or I'm gonna just like unleash all the goods on Yi-chan and let her know everything that you've been up to, right? Just a big old tattletale sort of thing. But you know, Stacey seems to be in the position where he wants to prove his worth, and it feels very much like in order to at least get to Zox and show, you know, even if you don't necessarily trust who I am on the inside that's doing all this, trust the idea that I am trying to bring down the Tojitendo. So there is definitely a mutual something mutually beneficial for them definitely working together. And it seems as though, if I had to assume, Stacey's probably going to bring Zox the SD gear that he's looking for, or maybe even bring in the SD world for them to go ahead and certainly fight. Based off of the preview, it feels like that. And even seeing all the rain and stuff too, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a really dramatic episode, and maybe some dramatic battles too, for really maybe wrapping up Zox's storyline. So I am looking very much forward to that. But overall, I didn't mind this episode. I enjoyed the theme this week. I enjoyed the villain this week in the Headwind world. I'm really enjoying Gege's manipulation, getting an opportunity to see what his abilities are like, and seeing Stacey be rather formidable along with Shitara, also maybe catching on as well. So we'll see what happens. We'll see exactly how long Gege will be inside of Stacey's body, or if something will jolt him out of it and we'll get our traditional Stacey back. I hope we do. I hope the idea of seeing Bokawas like shock him and electrocute him and put him in the cage, I'm really hoping that that's not the last that we've seen of the character, and that we still get a full circle sort of redemption arc for Stacey. So we'll see how it goes. But listen, guys, at the end of the day, these are just simply my A+ opinions. I want to know yours. What did you guys think of episode number 43 of Zenkaiger? Let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below after this video airs, and we'll definitely go ahead and continue to talk and discuss this episode until next week. So until then, guys, do me a big favor. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Full throttle, nonstop. Have a good one, guys. Bye.